The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, is the third installment in the popular horror movie franchise, directed by Michael Chaves and starring Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as real-life paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The film is based on the true story of the "Devil Made Me Do It" case, which saw the Warrens investigating a murder case involving demonic possession. The movie takes a slightly different approach than previous entries in the franchise, and it feels more like a detective story with horror elements than a straightforward horror movie. The film incorporates elements of possession, exorcism, and true crime, resulting in a story that feels fresh and engaging. The movie also benefits from a strong script by David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick, who previously wrote The Conjuring 2 Inches and Aquaman. One of the most impressive aspects of The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, is its ability to blend different horror subgenres. The film combines supernatural horror with true crime and mystery elements, making it a unique entry in the franchise. The movie follows the Warrens as they investigate a murder case in which the defendant claims to have been possessed by a demon at the time of the crime. The case takes the Warrens on a journey that involves exorcisms, seances, and a race against time to stop the demon before it can claim any more victims. The performances by Wilson and Farmiga are once again excellent. The two actors have great chemistry and do a fantastic job of bringing their real-life counterparts to life on the screen. The movie is as much about their relationship as it is about the horror elements, and their bond adds a layer of depth and emotion to the story. Wilson and Farmiga are able to convey the fear and dread that their characters experience without ever overdoing it, making their performances both believable and captivating. The movie's supporting cast is also strong, with John Noble and Eugenie Bondurant delivering memorable performances as key figures in the investigation. Noble plays a retired priest who assists the Warrens in their investigation, and his character brings a sense of wisdom and experience to the story. Bondurant plays the film's main villain, a powerful demon who possesses multiple bodies throughout the movie. Her performance is suitably creepy and unsettling, and she adds to the overall sense of dread and unease that permeates the film. The movie benefits from some impressive visuals and special effects. The production design is top-notch, with every location and set piece feeling authentic and atmospheric. The movie's use of lighting and shadows is particularly effective, and it helps to create a sense of foreboding and tension throughout the film. The special effects are also well done, with the movie's supernatural elements feeling both realistic and otherworldly. The movie's climactic exorcism sequence is particularly impressive, and it delivers some truly horrifying moments. The movie's musical score is also worth noting. Composed by Joseph Bashara, the score is intense and atmospheric, with haunting melodies and dissonant chords adding to the film's sense of dread and unease. The score is used sparingly but effectively, with the music often serving to build tension and set the mood for the film's more suspenseful scenes. However, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, is not without its flaws. The plot is somewhat convoluted, and the movie can feel a bit disjointed at times. The story is more complex than previous entries in the franchise, and it can be difficult to keep track of all the different characters and plot threads. Additionally, some of the scares feel a bit predictable and formulaic, and the movie relies too heavily on jump scares. While there are some genuinely creepy moments in the film, there are also a lot of scenes that feel like they are trying too hard to scare the audience. Another issue with the film is that it lacks the suspense and tension of the first two movies. While The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2 Inches were able to build a sense of dread and unease throughout the entire movie, The Devil Made Me Do It feels more like a collection of horror set pieces strung together. While there are some scary moments, the movie lacks the overall sense of terror that made the previous films so effective. Despite these flaws, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It is still a solid entry in the franchise. The movie's ability to blend different horror subgenres and its strong performances from Wilson and Farmiga make it worth watching. While it may not be as scary as the previous films, it still delivers enough chills and thrills to satisfy horror fans. One of the film's strengths is its ability to blend different horror subgenres. While the first two movies in the franchise were primarily focused on supernatural horror, this movie also incorporates elements of true crime and courtroom drama. This shift in focus allows the movie to explore new territory and keeps the franchise from becoming too repetitive. The true crime elements of the movie come from the fact that it is based on a real-life case. The movie is loosely based on the trial of Arne Cheyenne Johnson, who was the first person in U.S. history to claim demonic possession as a defense for murder. While the movie takes some creative liberties with the case, it still provides an interesting backdrop for the supernatural horror elements. Another strength of the film is the performances of its two leads, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. Wilson and Farmiga have both appeared in previous movies in the franchise, and their chemistry as paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren is a key part of what makes the movies work. The two actors bring a sense of warmth and humanity to their roles, which makes the horror elements of the movie even more effective. Wilson in particular gives a strong performance, portraying Ed as a man haunted by his own past trauma. Despite the strengths of the movie, there are still some flaws. As mentioned earlier, the film relies too heavily on jump scares. While there are some effective scares throughout the movie, there are also a lot of scenes that feel like they are trying too hard to shock the audience. The movie also lacks the sustained tension and suspense of the first two movies. While those movies were able to build a sense of unease throughout the entire runtime, The Devil Made Me Do It feels more like a series of individual scary scenes. Another issue with the movie is its villain. While the previous movies in the franchise had memorable supernatural villains like the demon Valak and the haunted Annabelle doll, The Devil Made Me Do It doesn't have a standout villain. The movie's demon, known as the occultist, is fairly generic and doesn't have much personality or memorable traits. Overall, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It is a solid entry in the franchise. While it has some flaws, its ability to blend different horror subgenres and the strong performances of its two leads make it worth watching. If you're a fan of the franchise or of horror movies in general, The Devil Made Me Do It is definitely worth checking out.